What's up, Yarny Box Crocheters? Today we're making Hootie the Owl. He's a super cute and easy tutorial. In your Yarny Box kit, you'll find that the magic ring is already started for you. This is so that we can start off the project nice and easy and you don't have to worry about a complicated beginning. This is the very first round of the project. Here you'll see I'm pointing out the little V's. These are actually stitches, so you should be able to go around the circle and count 6 stitches or 6 V's. The stitches are what you're going to be working into in the next round in order to build on your project. You'll also find 2 stitch markers. This blue one here is marking the very first stitch of the round. That's where we're going to place the first stitch of the next round. The green stitch marker is marking the loop in which you're going to place your crochet hook to start working. You can see here that you can actually tighten and loosen this loop by pulling on this string that's attached to the ball of yarn. There are 2 different ways in which you can hold your crochet hook. This first way is like a knife. The second way is like a pencil. I personally find the pencil hold a little bit easier, but it's up to you. You can play around and hold your crochet hook however you'd like. Next, you're going to take the yarn that's attached to the ball of yarn and wrap it a couple times around your finger. And then I like to pinch the magic ring with my middle finger and thumb like this. Again, this is just how I like to work on my projects, but as you go along, you can play with how you want to hold everything. So you can remove the green stitch marker and pop in your crochet hook into that loop. You're going to want to tighten the loop to make it so that it's pretty tight on the crochet hook. Don't make it so tight that you can't move the crochet hook, but you definitely don't want it to be too loose. Something like this is appropriate. The trickiest part about learning how to crochet is learning how to hold everything in your hands. I definitely recommend rewatching the beginning of this video until you get the hang of holding everything. And if you accidentally undo your magic ring, I have a tutorial linked down below of how to redo that. So let's get started on round 2. We're going to start off by removing the blue stitch marker. You can pull on it a little bit and you'll find a little hole. That's exactly where we're going to be inserting our hook into to make the very first stitch of round 2. So once you pop out your stitch marker, you're going to insert your hook exactly where the stitch marker was. Before we insert a hook, I just want to make sure that you're holding your hook properly. So you want to make sure it's parallel to your body and make sure the hook is facing downwards. That's going to make it a lot easier to guide the yarn in and out of each stitch. So pop your hook into the stitch. Again, it looks like a V, so now you should have 3 little loops on your hook. Next, we are going to yarn over, which means we're grabbing the yarn with our crochet hook like this, and we are gliding the yarn through the first 2 little loops on our hook like so. And now we're going to do that again, so yarn over and pull the yarn through the 2 loops on your hook. This is called a single crochet. This is the first stitch of the round. Our next stitch is going in the exact same stitch that we were just in. So this stitch and not this stitch. We're going in the same hole that we were just in. So insert your hook into that little V, yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops like so. Now you have 2 loops left on your hook, so yarn over and pull through those 2 remaining loops. What we just did is called an increase because we popped 2 stitches into 1 stitch. Now you're going to count down 2 stitches away from the loop or the first stitch that we made, and you're going to mark it with a stitch marker. Next, we're going to make another single crochet in the next available stitch. So that's going to be this one here. Pop in your hook. There's 3 loops on your hook now. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops, and then yarn over again and pull through those second 2 loops. That was 1 single crochet. Now we're going to make our second single crochet in the same exact hole. So in the same place we just were, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over again, pull through the second 2 loops. Again, this is called an increase because we placed 2 single crochets into 1 stitch. So now we have 4 new stitches, but we've only worked into 2 stitches from the previous round. So here I'm just pointing out with my thumb the 4 new stitches that we've done. Carrying on to the next stitch, we are going to make a single crochet, and now we're going to make a second single crochet in the exact same hole. Moving on to the next stitch. Again, here's your first single crochet, and here's your second single crochet in the same stitch. Again, popping your first single crochet in there and your second single crochet. And now we're moving on to the very last stitch of the round. 1 single crochet and 2 single crochets. That completes round 2. So because we placed 2 single crochets in each of the stitches of the previous round, we now have 12 little V's or 12 stitches in this round. So you should be able to go around and count 12 stitches. For round 3, we are going to be increasing in every other stitch around the circle, bringing our stitch count from 12 to 18. So first, remove your stitch marker, and now we are going to place our first single crochet of the round. So insert your hook into the stitch where the stitch marker was and place 1 single crochet. Then mark that stitch. In the next available stitch, we are placing 2 single crochets or an increase. So not that one, but this one here, the next stitch. That's our first single crochet, and going in for the second single crochet to make an increase. Then place 1 single crochet in the next stitch, then an increase in the next stitch. Single crochet in the next stitch, then increase in the next stitch. Just keep repeating this pattern until you get back to the stitch marker. Coming up on the last increase of the round, and you should have 18 stitches in your circle now. So you should be able to go around and count 18 little stitches. For round 4, we are going to increase every 3rd stitch, and we're going to have a total of 24 stitches at the end of this round. So make your first single crochet of the round and then mark that stitch. So it goes single crochet, increase. So now we are going to do another single crochet, then make an increase. Single crochet, increase. Single crochet, and increase. Just keep repeating this pattern until you get back to the stitch marker. Alright, we should have 24 stitches at the end of this round. Round 5 is our next round, and that is going to be our last round of increasing. Place your first single crochet of the round and then mark that stitch. Then single crochet, and we're increasing in the 4th stitch. Single crochet, single crochet, single crochet, and increase. Just keep repeating this pattern until you get back to the stitch marker. Now you should have 30 stitches all the way around your circle, and we are no longer increasing, we are just going to work on the body of the owl. But first we are going to weave in this end. That's the very centerpiece of the owl, and you are going to grab your yarn needle and thread your yarn needle with the yarn. To weave in your end, you are just going to poke your needle in and out of random stitches in the bottom circle here. Just make sure that you're only ever poking your needle one stitch over so you can't see the yarn on the other side. What this does is it makes the end secure so that it doesn't come unraveled. Now that we've done that, we can move on to round 6. Round 6, we are just doing one single crochet in every single stitch around. So we're still going to have 30 stitches at the end of this round, no more increasing. So remove your stitch marker and place your first single crochet of the round and then mark that stitch. Then continue placing one single crochet in every single stitch around. Coming up on the last few stitches of round 6 here. Round 7 to 15, so the next 9 rounds, we are doing the exact same thing that we just did, and that's going to be one single crochet in every single stitch around. I'm going to show you here how to count the rounds. So this is round 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So as you can see, they're like little lines with tiny little dots separating them. And that's how you can keep track of the rounds. So for the next 9 rounds, you're going to do what we just did. I'm going to speed up this section and I will meet you back once you've done 9 more rounds of one single crochet in every stitch around the circle. Just don't forget to replace your stitch marker at the beginning of every single round. For round 16, we are going to place 1 single crochet and then mark that stitch. Then we are going to place another single crochet and another single crochet. Next, we are going to make a decrease. So as you can see, every stitch has 2 loops. This is the front loop. We are going in the front loop only of the next 2 stitches. As you can see, that's the front loop, and there's still the back loop that's not on the hook. So to make a decrease, insert your hook in the front loop only of the next 2 stitches, and then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So single crochet, single crochet, single crochet, and then make a decrease. So again, that's the front loop only of the next 2 stitches. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Single crochet, single crochet, single crochet, and decrease. Single crochet, single crochet, single crochet, and decrease. Single crochet, single crochet, single crochet, and decrease. And you're going to repeat this a few more times until you get back to the stitch marker. To finish off the body of the owl, we're going to finish with a slip stitch. So insert your hook, place your hook in the next available crochet stitch, yarn over, and pull through all the loops on your hook. And that just creates a nice clean edge, and then leave a long tail for sewing about 15 inches or so. And pull that through to fasten off. The way that we close the body of the owl is a little bit different than normal amigurumi, so it's normal to have a big gaping hole at the top. We're going to stuff it, and then we are going to sew across both sides. So grab your stuffing and pull it apart to break it up. And make sure your owl is stuffed at the bottom, but not overstuffed. You want it to look something like that, so that the top is nice and flat. And then we are going to sew across both sides to close the hole. Just going to add a little bit more. Next, you can grab your yarn needle and thread it onto that yarn that's hanging out right there. And you are simply just going to whip stitch across, so shut it like this. And then make sure you're going through both sides. Like so, both sides, matching up the stitches. And then pull tight once you've gone through. Just make sure you sew across every single stitch. Once you get to the other side, you'll see the shape of the owl take form, and you can weave in that extra end. That is part 1 of the owl. I'll see you in part 2, which is linked down below.